Hello, everybody. Hopefully, this is working better than it was last night. How was everybody's day? Hope you had a good one. Trying a couple of different things tonight, playing some audio stuff, seeing if we can make a little bit better experience for everybody. Brian, thank you for joining on TikTok. Outlaw, how you doing tonight? I see Rogue Girl, Spartan Ninja in chat. How are y'all doing today? Hope everything's good. Going to do some RP tonight. Like I said, working on some things, so you may see some things looking kind of funky, may not. We'll see how things go. But if you have suggestions, by all means, hit me up on Discord, Speedo_Corleone, or send it to me in chat. Send me a whisper, send me a DM in TikTok. However, please get it to me because I want to make this as good for you, good of an experience as I can make it. All right. Let's move into it and see what we can get going tonight. Hey, Brian. I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you doing? So I can see right off the bat we may have some issues going forward with the tech side. We'll see what happens.
Sheriff usually flies in around 2 p.m. Eastern and up until about 6 p.m.
Okay,
Eastern.
we're looking good on equipment.
Sheriff, he should have access to all that stuff. I can also maybe try the major and see if the major might have access.
All right.
Much of help.
TikTok, I'm using a different format. What I've been doing up until now. Hey guys, how you doing?
How we doing, brother?
Hey guys, I'm gonna run. I gotta go play out.
Typically I've just been kind of simulcasting what goes on Twitch onto TikTok, and I wanted to kind of take advantage of that platform and what it can do. So there's a different view over there now. I'd love to hear your input on how it's going. What you think of it? Units numbers changed, so
Negative.
640, correction, 650, 1041 tonight. Actually, let's look and see. Jacoby, thank you so much for the follow on TikTok. I appreciate that. Miguel, how are you doing? Wee-woos, all kind of wee-woos. Money Gang, thank you for following. Let's see if we have anybody with DOC on.
Fernando, can you stand where the bullet casing or where the blood was?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're on channel 10. Oh, 654.
Honestly, it could be from the roof or the street.
Right now I'm trying to get the
I'm not
corrections.
gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. The trajectory is like now.
650, 654 direct.
Go ahead.
Do you have anybody over there tonight can do FTO, get my DOC cert done? Brian, thank you for the follow.
Bailey's around. She's doing something right now.
10-4. Let me know if she's going to be free later, and I'll head over that way.
So, bro, Pions can do it too. So, or I can maybe help you too.
All right, I'll go ahead and head over that way. I'm leaving Triple SO now. Thank you, Brady. I appreciate that.
Wait, what's going on?
He wants to do his training for DLC.
I suddenly had an absolute brain fart trying to figure out what's going on. Figuring out where I'm at. There it is. All right, now we can get it going. Brain fog, yes, lots and lots of brain fog. And what exactly is it that fog stands for, sir? You want to clue everybody in? Which, by the way, this is what my shift calls me. I'll let him tell you. Yeah, funny old guy. Yes, funny old guy. So, fog is what my shift calls me, and my kids were at a party with my sergeant, and they asked what my nickname was on the shift, and he said Fog. And instead of funny old guy, the first time he said it, he said another word that starts with F. And I've been getting called Fog by my 10-year-olds ever since. But he quickly changed it to Fog, and they didn't buy it. I don't even think they heard funny. They just heard the other one. So yes, I am the Fog. I'm thinking seriously about getting some Fog merchandise here, put up in the store. 654. I'm out front. Hurricane, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
Bring vehicle in.
Copy.
Perform.
Say 7 radio check. 10-2.
All right, that's it.
Sweet.
Scott, thank you for the follow on TikTok. I appreciate that. TikTok, you guys are kicking it off tonight. You're doing great. I appreciate all the love.
Just park her right over there.
DOC grows.
Without hitting the dog.
What the hell? Who this?
Pete, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. You guys are being awesome tonight. Thank you so much.
Speedo!
How are
Get your
y'all?
uniform.
Does my K9 cert transfer over here to DOC also?
Yeah, technically. Mine's is here. I mean, it matters.
Sweet. I don't have to chase him now. I can just send Karen after him.
If you wanted to, I guess.
You still gotta follow the use
Yeah,
of force continuum.
That too. So the same thing.
Yep, the 3,
Just had a
2,
case
1
earlier
rule.
involving a K9, actually.
Three tackles, 2 tases, 1 K9.
Yep.
So K9 falls on the matrix, same place that the nightstick would.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Interesting. It doesn't have to be a felony in this world. It's good to
Speedo,
know.
what phase you on?
Isn't done yet.
I'm starting the DOC.
You're starting DOC Academy?
Trina told me to get with somebody and knock out everything I needed to do. She told me to get with a DOC FTO.
Shit, I'm just now starting with Eugene, so let's get you started. here, too.
Perfecto. Go for it.
If you want to.
Hell yeah. What do I need to do first, sir?
Yeah, I'll send you uniform codes, by the way, if you want for this. So.
Okay.
It's
I'll just help him through it.
Okay. Well, I'll
Alright.
send the codes,
just
and
wait
then.
here.
Alright, do you want to follow me, Speedo?
Yes,
We'll
sir.
be right back, Eugene.
Mhm.
Alright, so this is the Sally Port. This is where we keep our vehicles and bring suspects whenever we come here to DOC. Keep in mind, you do not have keys until you pass your final exam, okay?
All right.
Okay, let's start
Send
over
the
here.
email of the codes, speed up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, this is where prisoners will come to check how much time that they have left on their sentence, and if
Yes,
they are
babysitting
done
simulator.
serving their time, they can use the phone right over there to make a phone call and ask for a pickup. Excuse me, ask for a pickup, and then they will be taken out of DOC. Okay.
All right.
This is also the same room that we use for visitation. That'll be discussed in your phase 1. Over here is the front lobby as well as the processing room. So this is the processing room that we use for DOC. Whenever we bring somebody here with a manual transport, we bring them here, make sure that all of their profile information is up to
Guys,
date.
how's the audio?
And then this is
As
where
far as
we
hearing
give
me
them
and,
their
and
time.
hearing the other people, does that sound all right?
That's the other side of visitation. This is the front lobby. Somebody or the freaking inmates, when they get out, they will get their possessions back through here. Over here is a locker room.
All right.
Okay.
Does this have the ability to change uniforms in here?
Unfortunately not. Yeah, unfortunately not. A lot of stuff is still kind of old when it comes to DOC. Okay. That door right over there leads you into the front office here.
All right.
Come on through.
I didn't realize there was as much stuff in this jail or prison penitentiary. I don't know what the difference is. What's the difference between a prison and a penitentiary? I know a jail you serve less than 365 days, and a prison you serve more than 365 days, but I couldn't really tell you what the difference in a penitentiary and a prison is. Should be cafeteria?
Cafeteria.
This one.
Right over here next to the door, as well as over there on the other side, where that door is. You can check up on who is currently around serving sentences, as well as if you need to set off a jail alarm.
Hunter, DJ, thank you for
okay?
joining the live on TikTok. I appreciate it. All right.
Prisoners can make slushies over here. They weigh quite a bit, and they satisfy your hunger and hydration.
All right. Are we allowed to get them also, or just prisoners?
You can get them also, but you get your own food, I guess. They're mostly meant for prisoners. This is the infirmary. He's injured. You will take them here, and this is a desk where DOC Nancy sits. I've never had to do anything in these two rooms over here, but
I thought her name was Margaret.
I actually don't know.
Is there a problem?
I'm still relatively new to DOC myself.
You're dead already.
But
You're dead.
this room right here is where
I'm
inmates
about to
will.
knock him the hell out.
You're dead already. You just don't know. Nobody fucks with me, you guys.
Yep. So this room is where inmates come to receive medical care.
Can't believe I'm getting punked out by a damn local.
Can exercise down here. I believe doing physical activity under good behavior and stuff will also reduce their sentence a bit.
Oh, okay.
And then this is the cell block. This guy right here is Tyrone. It's kind of like a DOC rule or whatever that whenever you come in here, you gotta say, "Hey, Tyrone, what's up?" So, yeah, Tyrone is the guy that gives the inmates their jobs to do around the prison if they're on good behavior.
The shot caller.
Huh?
The shot caller.
Say again?
The shot caller.
Yeah, pretty much. And then this right here is the cell block. Currently, as I said, DOC is pretty old. Currently, we do not have the ability to lock any of the cell doors or anything, so there is no solitary confinement or anything really. I guess you could say solitary confinement is just leaving somebody cuffed in a cell with shackles, but if you do that, you need to make sure that you stay with them in case they get hungry or thirsty. So that's just kind of the way that things are.
All right.
And then did Bowman email you
Hey, Tyler.
outfit?
Yes.
Okay. I forget this guy's name, but he gives the prisoners their inmate outfits. You can also talk to him to receive your DOC outfit. So go ahead and get that situated. And change into it too.
I need to change it real quick. I'm not a corporal. That's
Yeah,
under
neither is
decals, correct?
Bowman, which is weird. I think that is
I've
yes,
flashed. Never mind.
decal, I think. No,
Cracker
keep it on
Jima, that's
147, but just make the texture 0. Yep, and then change your nameplate. I want to say it's under Scarves and Chains, texture 3 to 2.
No.
Scarves and there should be something. Yep, there you go.
Bags of parachutes.
That's right. And then change your jacket to the long sleeve version. I want to say one the other way. It's not a texture. There you go. Yep. Nope. 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 The other way. Yep. One more. Hang on. Is it with or without a tie? It's one of those two. You were on the right track. Hang on.
Seeing brown.
It's with the tie. So change the texture to the white one, I believe 8. And then make sure your hands don't have any holes in your shirt.
I look good.
I think you are. Okay. Go ahead and make sure you
San Andreas
save
allows him to
the
do that.
outfit. Huh?
I was talking to himself. San Andreas allows them to
You
smoke.
good?
Yeah, I'm getting it to, I've got to update it. I went to save it and it screwed up.
Okay.
All right, should be good.
Okay. This is the outfit that you will wear until you finish your final exam. In which case, when you do so, you may wear the short sleeve version of that shirt, or you can wear the Class C outfit, which is what I'm currently wearing.
All right.
Okay. This outfit right here that you are currently wearing is the outfit that you will wear to bailiff duty in the courthouse. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's go out to the Sally Port and get started.
Never been a fan of the campaign hats. We used to have to wear those at work, and I hated them then. I hate them now. Matt, thank you for the follow on TikTok. I appreciate that. Hello, Matt. How are you doing tonight? Yes, I'm on Twitch and TikTok. Exact same names. Chandler, thank you for the follow.
Oh, good. The guy has uniform because I sent it to him already.
Yeah,
That's more bailiff.
One,
oh, did I?
Yep. You sent him the one with the short sleeve, and it also had a
that's the
corporal
one.
name tag.
Well, that's the
on it.
ones I had, so it's fine to edit those.
Yeah.
Well, at least
Yeah.
I said most of it, so whatever. Anyway.
Like I said, there's too many people. Bailey for sure ain't putting up with it. She's not happy with him.
We'll let her deal with him.
Oh, they're dealing with him.
All right, guys. I'm going to go through the handbook with these two. So.
Yep.
If you want to catch him up to where we're at, go right ahead.
Yep.
To those idiots, any local idiots, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Let me send you the handbook.
At the DOJ SOPs. David, thank you.
Nope. DOJ is Department of Justice. All right, check your email.
All right, I got it pulled up.
All right.
Currently, no.
Keep in mind that this entire document needs a lot of revisions. DOC for the third or fourth time now is a very old department within the city, and it has been neglected for some time now. And so we're build it back up, and
Thank you for the link to your
SOPs
TikTok.
are
I
in
appreciate
need
that.
of revision.
Thank you, Tracy.
So we will be skipping a few sections or telling you to disregard some things
Hey,
in
Matt.
it, okay? Skip down to section 2.4.B, bailiff. It's on page 8, I think.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Bailiff. As a bailiff, it is your responsibility for the security in the courtroom and for the safety of all participants, maintaining order in the courtroom and removing disruptive persons from court. Your duties are escorting and guarding jurors or judges, preparing the courtroom, transferring documents, escorting the defendant from holding to their seat, serving court summons, declaring judges' entry into the courtroom, and ensuring no illegal items are brought into court. As for the illegal items brought into court, that one is a bit harder because we have a metal detector in the hallway as soon as you enter the courtroom.
Yes,
that
they are. Hurricane, yes, they are.
Surrender civilian belongings to the front desk in the court. Okay. There is also a here that it does not mention. If the judge orders an individual to be arrested under contempt of court, you are to also, or no, sorry, that's something different. The other duty I meant to mention is you have to swear in a state witness whenever they step up to the stand, okay? Or
All right.
another civilian or individual who is being sent up to the stand to testify, okay?
Okay.
So that right there, usually what I do whenever I do that is I whisper to them as they step up to me, and I say, when I tell you to do so, think about oath. And then I start shouting, Mr. or Mrs., whatever your name is, please raise your left hand now. Just like this, thinking about oath. And then once they have done that, I say, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And then they say, I do. And they are good to go to the stand. You will tell them, all right, you are good to step up to the stand.
What if they say they don't?
If they don't, then they are not allowed to testify. Okay?
Makes sense.
So if you are not standing over by the jurors' stand and the testifying stand or whatever, another role that you can take within the courtroom is sitting in, or not sitting, standing in the aisle of the audience area to make sure that the audience is not causing
Christy,
any
thank you
issues.
for joining on TikTok.
One important thing is to make sure that any law enforcement officers that are sitting in the audience are to be off duty. If they refuse to go off duty, then let a supervisor know, be disciplined. Okay? A state witness can stay on duty, but state witnesses usually sit in the juror's stand.
Why are they to go off duty?
Because if you are wanting to watch a court case that you're not involved in, you should not be on duty.
So okay. I misunderstood what you're
Yep.
saying. It's anybody who's not there testifying. Okay, that's state witness part.
Yep.
Anybody who's not there testifying, just observing, they need to be. I am so sorry. Muscle spasms.
Ow.
I haven't had enough magnesium today. That muscle spasm just gets me sometimes.
Here's a spasm.
You about to
So
get
if they're,
mad,
hey, at least I didn't kick the dog this time. All right.
Here's my
but
dog.
Yeah, if they're
Hey, boy.
not, yeah, I got it now.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a big boy.
So, yep. So state witnesses are allowed to be on duty because they're summoned there for law enforcement reasons, testifying as law enforcement during a case that they're involved in. But if somebody is watching the court case from the audience clocked on duty, which happens all the time, I cannot tell you enough, it happens all the
I heard
time.
it was a big issue a couple days ago.
Yep. Make sure that they are clocked off duty. If they refuse to clock off duty, bring it up to a supervisor and they will be disciplined. Okay? So like I said, the two primary roles of bailiff is to maintain the audience as well as sit between the jurors stand and the testifying stand, and swear people into oath. If there are an excess of 2 people, then the remainder people just either go to one of those 2 positions that I mentioned, the audience or that little corner of the courtroom. Okay.
All right.
So with the training requirements for bailiff, before you become bailiff certified to, in other words, serve as bailiff on your own, you must serve satisfactory as bailiff for 3 court hearings. Okay. Other than that, do not attend bailiff duties on your own. You should be with at least one other person when doing bailiff. Okay.
All right.
Sometimes this doesn't happen very often, but if a member in the audience is being disruptive during court, the judge may order that that individual be charged with contempt of court. That is a HUT charge, hold until trial. So if a judge orders that the individual be charged with contempt of court, the judge will usually give you a time and fine on the spot. One of my first
Danny, thank you for
court
joining the
cases that
TikTok
I
live.
went to during bailiff duties, the most common fine and time during this was 20 months and $10,000. So you cuff the individual and you bring them down to the cell block down below. There's a door in the courtroom that has 2 cells. You'll see it whenever you go to bailiff duties in the future. And then you charge them. And I say as of right now because Whitman may or may not change this at some point in the future. But as of right now, when you are serving DOC duties, either in the Department of Corrections, Bolingbroke here, or in the courtroom, if a individual is charged with something, then their plea is automatically no contest. Okay?
Say that one more time so I'll make sure I got it.
Yep. So
I really wasn't listening or paying attention to what he was saying.
You are on DOC duties here at Bolingbroke or the courtroom, and somebody is charged with something, their plea is automatically no contest.
He couldn't hear you for putting that duty belt lawn chair together.
Jesus, he deaf.
Don't judge. You don't wear hearing aids.
How about him?
Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
No, sir.
Okay. I don't think I missed anything about bailiff.
Yes, I actually wear hearing aids.
2.4.C parole officer as well as 2.4.D cert officer. We are going to skip both of those sections because according to Cody Smith, DOC may be getting rid of those sections completely as we do not have a purpose for those as of this time. But as DOC continues to expand and grow within the state, we may bring those back and improve upon them at a later date and time. Okay.
All right. Who is Cody Smith?
Cody Smith is a corporal within DOC. He doesn't do patrol. He pretty much only does DOC. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Eugene, we are picking up where we left off now. Let's go down to section 3.1, general weapon and loadout guidelines. No lethal weapon usage until training and certificates are complete. The standard correctional loadout is handcuffs. You do not have to have 3 of them. You only have to have 1. The handcuff key, a nightstick. Eugene, you know me, when I'm out on patrol, I see the flashlight as the same purpose as the nightstick. But here at DOC, since we are not allowed to carry a pistol in with us, I do actually prefer to keep my nightstick on me and separate the role of the nightstick as well as the flashlight here.
Oh, same here.
Okay, well then I'll have to go get my stick.
Yep. But it's up to you. Bandages and gauze, those take the replacement of IFAKs. Just carry IFAKs on you in case you need them. Body armor, same deal there. You need a radio, taser cartridges, and your duty pistol should be stored in the lock box in your cruiser at all times unless you need it. Okay. Taser. All corrections personnel are required to always have a taser on them as their primary weapon. Shotguns. If you are certified to carry a shotgun, if you are, then you may take a shotgun for prisoner transport and or attempted prison breaks. Refer to DPS policy for all other situations. Okay. Sidearms, I already went over that. Carbines and submachine guns. This
Sniper
is only
rifle.
for what? No, not a sniper rifle.
No, tell them about it.
I'm getting there. Carbines
Hey,
and
Amy.
submachine guns.
Me. This
You
is Rush Hour
have access
RP.
to this when you get your class 2
It's
certification, just like the
rushhourroleplay.com.
pump shotgun. You may take this if you are dealing with a high value transport or HVT prisoner transport. Or if you are in a watchtower. Most of the watchtowers that you see around here, you can actually go up to the top in and just look out. And or attempted prison breaks when warranted. The Mark 14 this is basically a marksman rifle. You may get certified for it. Normally on patrol status, you have to join SWAT in order to get certified for the Mark 14, but here you may get certified for Tower Watch. Once any situation is for, all lethal weapons must be returned to the armory or storage location. Uniform Regulations, Section 3.2. 3.2.A, corrections, deputies and recruits will follow the established BCSO uniform policy. Bailiff, Class A uniform with the tie and white gloves.
Fireside.
White gloves
Welcome.
are not necessary. We all wear black gloves. No ball caps, no cargo pants, no leg holsters, yada yada. It's a Class A uniform. It should be formal. You guys are both wearing the Class A uniform. You guys are both fine with this. Parole and CERT uniform you can ignore because of my statement
CP2XF,
earlier.
thank you for the follow on TikTok.
Section 3.3 Vehicle
I appreciate that.
Regulations. 3.3.A Corrections. Corrections deputy will observe the DPS vehicle policy less the following exceptions. All vehicles used for DOC purposes will be white in color. That is not the... You will follow the standard BCSO vehicle policy as if you are out on patrol. This truck behind me is perfectly acceptable for appearance. Transport vehicles, you are to use SUVs, a van, or a bus, and ignore the part about it being slick top. You must have a light bar on it and follow the DPS vehicle policy according to your rank authority. So Eugene, if you use a transport vehicle, you cannot use a car. It has to be a scout, landstalker, baller, or transport van. Okay.
Okay.
Unless authorized by DPS policy, you must return your vehicle to the standard format before. Okay, that doesn't matter because, like I said, same thing. We can ignore the parole and the CERT vehicle regulations. Let's move on to section 4. Before that, do you guys have any questions thus far?
Nope, not yet.
Last I saw in the shared vehicles, the only DOC vehicles were the vans, correct?
I believe so, yes.
All right. I didn't think there was anything that was shared that was an SUV.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to the shared motor pool, so I don't know what is or is not available. Oftentimes you won't really be doing DOC alone. There will usually be other people around with you, like there are now. And so if you do a prisoner transport, you can go along with other individuals who already have a transport van out or an SUV out until you are able to afford your own SUV. Like I said, you can use the Landstalker, the Baller, or the Scout. Okay?
Got it?
Why not the Granger?
Or that.
No.
Do we have a Baller?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so then there's 4 SUVs. I don't memorize.
I've never seen one drive a Baller, but I know we have one that we can purchase.
Yeah. Yeah, I
I don't
forgot
think
about the
anybody could
Granger.
afford.
The Baller's cheap. The Granger's the most expensive one. It's 125K.
Jesus.
Yep.
Then after
All
that,
right.
Angela, welcome to the live on TikTok. Thanks for coming in.
Yep.
Baker Smith, welcome.
Section 4, 4.1, first on duty. Whenever you clock on for corrections, you must radio that you are 1041, obviously, but do so on TAC 10 for corrections. Make sure you do not submit a 311. The correct way to notify all law enforcement officers is dispatch, thinking about chat. So submit a dispatch to notify all law enforcement officers that a member of the corrections is available and to notify you of a transport. The first correctional officer on duty an inside sweep, ensuring that all appropriate. Do
Hey, can you
not
give me a
get
ride
close
back
to
to
my
Triple S?
dog.
Apologies.
Echo, laid back down, bud. Ugh.
Kids these days with their hair, their clothes.
Lay down. Good boy. Okay. Where was I? The first correction on duty should do an inside sweep, ensuring that all appropriate doors are locked. This includes the block. That does not include the block because that is not lockable. The infirmary is not lockable. Any doors leading out
Charles, welcome
prisoner
on TikTok.
area. The only lockable doors is this first gate over here that connects us to the Sally Port and the walk bus, as well as the doors that lead to the front lobby and the processing room. Those are the only lockable doors that we need to worry about besides the gates behind us, okay?
Got it.
After the inside sweep is complete an outside sweep, including roof locations, necessary but
Savage,
still
Dirtbag, both
good
of you,
to
thank you for
do.
coming.
Completed, resume normal duties. Ensure that each duties have been informed of all findings upon clocking on. For example, like if you do a cell shakedown on somebody that that is currently serving a sentence when you are first on duty, if you find or see anything suspicious in the area of DOC, make sure that you alert any corrections deputies that clock on after you do. Okay, 4.2, patrol duties. All corrections deputies must perform routine patrols while on duty. There are 3 main types of patrols: prison floor, perimeter on foot, and vehicle perimeter. Perimeter on foot and vehicle perimeter allow for a lethal loadout. This means either your pistol and or your pump shotgun if certified, which both of you are. When on patrol, it is your responsibility to ensure that the prison grounds experience no violations of prison rules. When driving in the yard or around the cell block, you must be Code 2. All vehicles must be locked and switched off at all times when not in use. Under no circumstances are you to store any weaponry, handcuffs, handcuff keys, or communication devices in the trunk of your vehicle or the glove box of your vehicle. Keep all equipment in the lock box. Should you come across any unusual activities inside or outside the prison area while on patrol, you are to immediately call for assistance. All contraband found while on patrol should be added to the evidence room lockers. Yeah. You don't really have an evidence room locker, but realistically, if you find contraband and it points back to an individual, you would put it in physical evidence when you go to make a report about it. But other than that, we don't really have a trash area here to store contraband. But yeah. If undeclared contraband is found on an inmate or any other issues such as assault are encountered during a patrol, that inmate is to be immediately secured and the correctional officer will add a MW incident entry. The correctional officer will increase the inmate's time in prison by the time warranted by the penal code. No fine will be issued and the plea will automatically be no contest. This is what I was referring to earlier about the whole no contest deal. Whether you are here at Bolingbroke or in a courtroom. It's very important that you make sure no fine is issued if they commit additional charges. If they commit additional charges here in DOC, they only get an increase in time. And the way that you do that is you think about DOC time, okay? If you think about DOC time, it's basically the same as sending somebody to jail minus the parole. You get their PayPal ID, and then you add or subtract time from their current sentence. So say somebody has 30 months left and they get an additional charge for plus 20 months. You would think about DOC time PayPal 50. Okay? Any questions about adjusting time? We'll cover that a little bit more here soon as well.
Not yet.
No.
Okay. It's pretty simple. 4.3, comms usage and etiquette. This is the standard for patrol as well, so you guys should already know comms stuff, but we'll go over it anyways. 4 golden rules of radio communication. Clarity, your voice should be clear. Speak a little slower than normal. Speak in a normal tone. Do not shout. Simplicity, keep your message simple enough for intended listeners to understand. Brevity, be precise and to the point. Security, do not transmit confidential information unless you know the proper security technology is in place. Remember, frequencies are shared and you do not have that is false. Wow, that needs to be updated. Our frequency is secure.
Annabelle, welcome live on TikTok.
Unless you are on the receiving end of a transmission, a direct call to you, the highest ranking officer available will be responsible for responding to DPS dispatches. You can ignore that. Really, we don't answer dispatch calls unless it pertains to the prison. Always use your call sign to identify yourself. Do not use your radio for general conversation. Always keep radio transmissions short and professional. Always be in comms when on duty. Provide short transmissions no longer than 15 seconds. When a supervisor says priority, stop what you're saying and listen. We don't really say priority here. We say 10-3 or break, break, break. If you need assistance with paperwork, move to a different channel with a supervisor. Remember that radio transmissions are official communication. Initiate a radio, ignore that one. Avoid words that may be misunderstood. Use affirmative in the place of and negative in the place of no. Understand and utilize the phonetic alphabet for the same reasons. Alpha, beta, not beta, Bravo, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, etc., etc. Learn the essential 10 codes. You guys should already be familiar with that. Section 4.4, MDW record maintenance. Correctional officers can reference the MDW and write reports after becoming a correctional officer and completing MDW training. Keep the MDW up to date with proper license information. Mugshots and warnings is vitally important to the justice system and the safety of your fellow officers. 4.4.A. This part gets a little bit different from regular patrol. If we notice certain behaviors coming from inmates, we are allowed to add tags to their profile. The MDW has the option to add tags to an inmate's profile. Caution codes can be used to annotate things. LEOs and fellow correctional officers should know if someone tends to be violent or attempts to escape these codes will reflect that in their MDW profile. If a gang tag is entered, make sure that the gang name is known. Or sorry, be sure to enter the gang name if known. The following tags are examples. Violent. Inmate is prone to resort to violence. Escape risk. Inmate attempts to escape from custody. Mental ints. Inmate shops. I don't know why it says shops. Inmate shows signs of being insane or thinks impractically. Gang name. Inmate reported affiliation or dependency with a gang. Dealer. Inmate is known to be in possession of large amounts of illicit substances. I don't even know how you would get drugs in here, but you never know. Terrorism.
Well, how do you get a fucking knife in here? Exactly.
There's ways. Like,
so you could probably get drugs the same way.
Yeah. Terrorism. Inmate is previously arrested on terrorism-related charges. Loser.
No, not him.
That should
Really?
just be the tag, the loser tag. Alyssa, welcome.
Wow.
All right. Section 4.5, increasing or reducing time. This relates directly to what I told you guys to think about to DOC time. As a correctional officer, you can reduce an inmate's prison sentence for good behavior. You also have the power to increase an inmate's sentence as a result of violations of prison rules and or any criminal behavior exhibited while in DOC custody. For any criminal activity, including assault, disorderly conduct, etc., the sentence increase should... Huh?
Do you guys think I should maybe breach the perimeter and test people's response time?
That would be a pretty sick joke, especially on this.
We're not going to respond, but...
Well, I'm not saying for you guys to respond. I'm saying for others.
I don't know. It's up to you.
Really want to do that?
All right. For any criminal activity, including assault, disorderly conduct, etc., the sentence increase should correspond with the San Andreas Penal Code sentencing times. Plea will automatically be no contest and no fine will be issued. For any violations of prison rules, a discretionary increase should be made by the correctional officer. This should match the severity of the rule break, i.e. failure to cell clean, increase of 1 month. This is not really a good example, as we wouldn't do this, but it's just an example.
Campbell, Samson, so yeah, we got
Inmates must serve 75% of their original sentence time, meaning a 25% reduction for good behavior is the maximum reduction allowed. To this is protecting a life during a riot or a breakout. They can get 30 months off, or protecting a correctional officer during the same situation, they can get minus 50 months off. Note that an inmate will not get their time added for any of these offenses if the does not wish to press charges. If the victim wants to press charges, you are.
Ross is in a meeting.
You should know that the dogs are temperamental.
Takes after his handler.
If the victim wants to press charges, you are to follow the MDW/LEO training that you have. A detailed report. All right. Any questions so far?
Nope, not yet.
Nope.
Okay. 4.6 escalation of force. When confronted with a dangerous or non-compliant, it is imperative that you do not just open fire and potentially cause casualties. Always follow the escalation of force chart and remember that your strongest weapon is your voice and your intelligence. Remember, the presence of more correctors commands compliance. De-escalation is always our priority. Refer to the DPS policy on escalation of force. Section 4.7, bail and parole.
Mangoes, welcome in.
We can skip that. We don't use that. Section 4.8, 1113, correctional officer in distress. This is the same as a 1013, and it will come through as a 1013. Simply because the MDW recognizes us on patrol status and not DOC status. So, an 1113 would be a correctional officer in distress, but once again, it comes through as a 1013. You guys already know about this, so I'm not going to go over it. 4.9, a 1098 jailbreak. During an active prison break, the following things must occur. The moment that we're going to skip that bullet point. Secure all prisoners in cells and secure the cell block if possible. A correctional officer must remain on the prison floor if the floor is locked down, preferably on the second floor in the control room. To lock down the prison, considering we physically cannot do that right now. So in the event of a prison break, try to detain the individuals temporarily, I guess.
There is a shit ton of people on duty, and I got confirmation from earlier that
have a correction officer posted in the most appropriate tower with binoculars and a rifle if you have the abundance of correctional officers available. The person's responsibility is to keep watch over the area and communicate all activity in and around the prison grounds. The other correctional officers should group up by the front gates to discuss a proper plan after the front gates and the processing doors are locked. An armed vehicle patrol on the exterior of the prison is advised. This can be done by PD. The first area that should be cleared is the infirmary or armory. Correctional officers must take point on all active 1098 situations. Anytime that we have a 1098, even if you are out on patrol, you will be the scene lead in any 1098 situation. It does not matter who who the first unit is to respond to the scene, or who the highest unit is there, unless it's like command or somebody actually important. You, as the correction officer, have all say when it comes to a 1098 situation. Okay? Understood?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Section 5. While in prison, inmates are subject to a full search of person and cell space every half hour. Inmates can do an inmate work program. Tyrone, in the hallway, back there at the cell block, can do an inmate work program to earn money to purchase food from the commissary. Or commissary.
Missionary.
They don't have to earn money to purchase food, but I guess that's there because SOPs are old. Inmate work programs are a privilege, not a right. That is true, but we also can't necessarily restrict somebody's ability to do a work program. Time outside individual cells is a privilege, not a right. Inmates that are repeatedly violent or abusive can be placed in a cell for the remainder of their sentence. If you do this, make sure that you are constantly monitoring them in case they need food or water. Food or water. Upon escorting inmates to the cafeteria for mealtimes, all inmates must be searched thoroughly. The cafeteria is to be searched thoroughly, and inmates are to be cuffed and walked in a single file line to the cafeteria doors. This is really only if there's a shit ton of people and you really want to go through this situation. That's up to you. You do not have to do this. Like, legitimately, you do not have to do this. When taking inmates to the infirmary for medical assistance, they are to be cuffed and escorted regardless of whether they are down. They are to remain cuffed on the way back to the cell block, but can walk freely at the correction officer's discretion. This is true. Inmates waiting for a 5150 hold can be kept in the surgery room under supervision as they wait for their evaluation. We'll get to a 5150 hold here soon, I believe. 5.1 Inmate processing. Any prisoner serving more than 15 months will be transported to Bolingbroke by corrections. If they are serving less than 15 months, tell the PD or BCSO or whoever is processing the individual to just use local transport. We're not going to waste our time and the suspect's time by driving all the way there just for 15 months. Usually, in fact, you can up that to 20 months. If it's under 20 months, have them use local transport. If it's over 20 months, then at your discretion, you can organize a transport. Okay? Incoming inmates are to be driven into the sally port, which is here. Bring the inmates into the breezeway fence and make a left into the processing center. Validate the inmate has an up-to-date MDW photo. If not, generate a new mugshot. Upload it to the email chain and the MDW. Perform a secondary search of the inmate before processing them into the prison. All prisoners must be searched and illegal communications and weaponry items confiscated. All legal items can be returned once the prisoner has finished their sentence. This would be done via seizing possessions on your police actions duty belt. Okay? All illegal contraband items are to be placed into the evidence lockers. Immediately contact the arresting officer when weapons or stolen goods are found. Truthfully, if you have a firearm or illegal contraband items on the individual, you're going to have more of an issue than just simply talking to the arresting officer about it. That should not
sounds
be
like a supervisor
acceptable.
thing to me.
Exactly. Yep. All legal items should be placed in the miscellaneous lockers behind the main reception desk. This is where your seizing possessions go to. When somebody gets done with their sentence, they just go to the front desk to get their legal items back. Unclaimed phones and radios will go into a separate locker in the same location and may be issued out as necessary. You can ignore that. Yeah. Once the inmate arrives on the cell block, it is advised that all inmates are placed in cells to ensure officer and inmate safety. The prisoner will be provided with the opportunity to shower and provided with clean prison clothing and shoes. This is provided by the one dude whose name I forgot inside the cell block where you guys both got your correctional outfits from. All prisoners must collect their orange clothing before processing is complete. Not really true, but if you want to enforce that they wear orange clothing, you can. Just make sure that you have a list of the clothing numbers off to the side so that you can help them with getting their jumpsuit on and whatnot.
Mr. Wolf, this is Rush Hour
The prison is a
RP.
mask-free zone. Failure to comply with removing a mask will lead to charges under the San Andreas Penal Code. This would be likely classified under disobeying a peace officer. Prisoners will be provided with the opportunity to make phone calls to family members or friends at the end of the admission process. Payphones are located throughout the facility. 5.2 Contraband List. Anything that is considered contraband will be removed from the inmates and stored in the appropriate locker. Remove the inmate's identification if available, and keep it together with the items in the locker that will be returned upon release. Here's a list of remove and do not return. Any weapons, any escaping tools, any drugs and alcohol. No matter the legal limit, drugs or alcohol is not permitted inside the prison. We have a list of remove and return upon release. This is really just miscellaneous things. The main thing about the remove and return upon release list is communication devices like radios and phones, and then you also have to
back over there,
Ruby, I swear this is the second time that you have disturbed Echo.
I put him back in place.
Once again, remove and return upon release. Just ask yourself, does this item belong in prison? If you don't think that this item belongs in prison, take it and return it later on, okay? But the main thing is radios and phones, okay?
He wouldn't go anywhere.
You guys good so far?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay. I'd like to say we're almost done. 5.3 Telephone calls and exercise time. Cell phones and radios are not permitted inside the prison for inmates. Phone calls are a privilege, not a right. If the inmate is known to call for an escape or they have been violent during their sentence, they are not permitted a phone call. More on this topic, they should not have a phone on them. If they are requesting a phone call, it is up to you if you allow them or not. Just know that you will likely have to give them your phone to make that phone call. And
yes, Hurricane, it is still going.
It may or may not be a struggle getting your phone back.
Alicia Cole, thank you for the follow on
just
TikTok.
keep
I
that in
appreciate
mind.
you.
It's your discretion if you want to offer them a phone call if they request it. Okay. Access to the gym is a privilege and not a right, and may be taken away for bad behavior. Realistically, we can't take this away from them, unless they're like being real bad boys, and we need to like put them in quote unquote solitary. Excuse me. Each inmate during the daytime shall, not will, be allowed to freely pass between the cell block. You don't have to pay attention to this. They can really roam around free at any point in time.
Shall and will mean the same
all
thing
doors
in legal
must be
speak.
kept locked if you are going off duty. I swear, if any one of you leaves a door unlocked in a prison and goes off duty, we're going to have more issues than just, yeah, you're likely getting a disciplinary. Inmates who are on terrorism, violent, hold until trial charges, and life sentences will not be allowed in the yard at correctional officer discretion. Once again, we can't really do much about that, but yeah. Inmates have access to prison tablets that will allow them to email their lawyers only, and only in the case that a lawyer cannot be reached by phone. I believe this really just points out to your ability to make a phone call. So you can kind of ignore that bullet point. Section 5.4, visitation. Apart from lawyer visits, inmates are permitted to have one visitor during each year, 24 months of their stay.
Say that one more time.
So it says 24 hours here in the SOPs, but I'm pretty sure it's 24 months.
That's so confusing. Is it the year or 24?
It says during each year, 24 hours of their stay.
Oh, I understand now. I understand now. I completely. So a day in Liberty is a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Track it.
Inmates with less than 90 months are not permitted to have visitors. Visitation will be limited to 15 minutes. Violent felon inmates can be granted visitation based on good behavior and command discretion if available. You do not necessarily need command discretion, but just make a good judgment call whether or not to allow visitation. It's up to you. It's a privilege, not a right. This visitor must be approved and background checked, which will need to be checked prior to visitation. Visitors may not visit the prison if they have been incarcerated within the past 7 years or 7 days. Basically a week in Liberty. Repeat violent offenders are not permitted to visit. Each visitor must sign in at the front desk with an on-duty corrections officer and must provide a valid form of identification. The prison is restricted to the prison is restricted government property for the safety of everyone. All visitors are subject to search and no masks are required. Visits will not. Ruby.
I'm sorry, Pines. I'm so sorry.
We keep screwing with the dog. That is awesome.
Do you follow Formula 1 at all? Okay, well I do.
Okay.
So one of the racers, his name is Lewis.
Let's see here.
He took pole position in 2017.
Visits will not be permitted during a prison lockdown or riot. Duh. The prisoner and their visitors must follow all instructions from the correctional officer. The corrections officer have the authority to stop and cancel visits if threatening, indecent, or abusive behavior occurs. An inmate can never be refused a LEO, medical, or lawyer visit unless in a current riot, lockdown, or breakout situation. they must provide ID, badge, and or bar certification. You must verify that this information is correct. Inmates are to be searched, cuffed, and led to the visitation area at the front of the prison. 5.4.8 Visitation MW form. If somebody does get visitation, you must make a report, not an incident report, a normal report under the reports section of the MDW. Basically, just record who it was, the date and time, and your call sign. If you want to, you can go a little bit more in detail about why they wanted to visit and any details from start to finish. It doesn't mention this here in the visitation section.
But
what? Huh?
I sensed a but in there.
Yes. It doesn't mention this in the visitation, but
I was right.
If you
Timothy,
do
welcome in on
grant
TikTok.
somebody visitation, make sure that you search the inmate before and after the visitation is complete. This is to make sure that they don't already have something illegal and pass it through the gates, and to make sure that the visitor doesn't try to pass off illegal contraband to them. Okay.
Haley,
So
welcome in on
search them
TikTok.
before and after the visit. 5.5 Inmate Work Program. Ignore that. We don't have to go over that really. 5.6 5150 holds. Temporary involuntary psychiatric commitment of individuals who are presently a danger to themselves or others due to signs of mental illness. Common slang knows this as crazy, threateningly unstable, or mentally insane. Officers, members of the San Andreas Medical Services, and courts may order. I said that wrong. And court orders may place somebody on a 5150 hold pending evaluation from EMS. The person under the hold shall be released from the Bolingbroke Penitentiary Psychiatric Ward, Psychiatric Ward, my bad, after 72 hours or until their evaluations is/are complete and medically cleared to be in the public, whichever one comes first. If a person is found to be mentally unstable, they can be forced by the court system under a 5250 or 14-day hold and must undergo treatment with the San Andreas Medical Services before they can be released.
Nick, welcome in on TikTok.
5150
Terry,
holds are
welcome in.
very, very, very uncommon. I highly doubt any of you will have to deal with one of them, but yeah, they're in the SOPs if you ever need to refer to it. All right, we're almost done. Section 6, the last section, transport of prisoners, 1091. Section 6.1, general transport. While transporting, there must be a minimum of 2 correction officers in the vehicle. False. There must be a minimum of 2 correction officers in total. So if you decide to take 2 vehicles, then you can do that. But there has to be a minimum of 2 correction officers. It doesn't have to be in the same vehicle. Corrections officers transporting
so just 2 on the transport itself, not necessarily 2 in the same vehicle.
Correct. Officers transporting an inmate must be on TAC 4. False. TAC 10. They must be on TAC 10. Prisoners may arrive at Bolingbroke Penitentiary in 3 ways of transport. 6.1.A, local transport. This is, as I was saying earlier, when there are less than 2 corrections officers clocked in, sentencing time is less than, let's say, 20 months.
Thank you for the like. I appreciate that.
6.1.b, corrections vehicle transport. When a corrections officer gets into a vehicle that is to be used for the transportation of inmates, the vehicle gets the call sign. Ignore that. Ignore the first bullet point. When transporting, all corrections deputies should carry a department-issued pistol and shotgun or AR if certified. When arriving at any LEO department, make yourself known to the arresting officer. Find out from the arresting officer what the prisoner's charges are, the incident number, what their sentence is, and if the items have been confiscated from the prisoner. That one is probably the most important process right there for vehicle transports. Verify and update the inmate's MDW with all necessary information, including mugshots. Instruct the inmate who you are and what you are here to do. Perform a secondary search for contraband when you get to the prison. Transport the inmate to the penitentiary. Do not stop for anything en route back to the prison. 6.2, high value transport. This talks a lot about CERT, which we don't really have. Minimum required.
You're having voice box issues. Corporal.
Able or did.
Sir, your voice box is messing up. We're having a hard time hearing you. Well, that's awesome. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It's not even time for Storm yet. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to figure out this tech issue, and I'll get back with you guys shortly. Thanks. Let's get back in. Thank you guys for bearing with me. Thank you for hanging out.
Welcome back,
You had just
Speedo.
started talking about 6.2.
Okay.
Is the UFO still around?
I don't think so.
All right, let's
that
continue.
Probing hurts. Go for it.
So as I was saying, I wanted to backtrack a little bit to normal transports. If you are the only corrections officer on duty, you are still allowed to do a transport. Just make sure that that arresting officer is escorting you to DOC until you arrive here with the suspect. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You know, we're going to skip high value transport because we don't really do it. And actually, that's it. Yeah. Cool. Yep. That's everything. Do you guys have any questions?
Not as of right now. I'm sure at some point something off the wall and goofy is going to come up knowing me, and then I will.
Okay. So both of you both of you are FTOs, I think. No.
I am.
Yet. Eugene is not yet.
I got accepted.
Do you have access to the Trello?
I don't know. I haven't checked yet.
Okay. Once you have the
I gotta
email,
get with Ruby whenever he gets done.
yes. Once you have the email role, you should have access to the Trello.
Oh, I've got the email role.
Either him or I can walk you through the Trello. But you guys can look over your Trello card over in the DOC section. You can see what is required of you from section 2. So yeah. Let me just update your Trello real quick, and then Eugene will help you with the FTO stuff a little bit. You guys are going to primarily need to do some transports and process somebody, I believe.
All right.
And then you will be eligible for the final exam. Eugene, what's your call sign again? 656?
Yeah.
Okay. Speedo, what's yours?
650.
All right, let's see here. So there's 8 sections under phase 2. I'm checking both of you off for 2.3, which is MW use, suspect lookup, and incident creation, because you're both familiar with that on patrol.
I can't find my link to the Trello. Can you send it to me?
Yeah, I will here in a second.
Yeah, I'll see if I can.
I'm going to check you guys off for processing evidence and personal belongings, because I believe that you guys are smart enough for that. Facility tour, marking off for that.
Never mind, I found it.
You found it?
Yep, I'm in.
Oh, okay, the trailer. Okay.
Yep, that's all I'm marking you all off for. Daily routines too, I guess. Bowman, what is basic medial?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, I don't care. You're being checked off for that.
I don't know what that is.
Them. All right, so like I said, you guys just need to participate in prisoner transports as well as process prisoners, and then you'll be good for your eval.
All right. I think it's
I
probably
guarantee
supposed to
there'll be
say
more than
basic
I, so you
medical.
guys definitely stick around. I wouldn't worry about that. We already know that shit. So.
I love me some Bowman, man.
Ain't no comp.
He's
We have company.
He's about as close as it gets to feral, I believe, in this game.
There's somebody in front of the prison. Not sure who. Hey, Ruby, we did have a car that just went through the gate at parked in the front of the prison, so just be aware. It's like a two-door red coupe or something. He's already there. No, they're parked in the parking lot in front of the main entrance.
Ah. I forgot to go back on duty.
There's still... Handle it.
All right. Well, we got the academy portion of DOC done.
Car just came up before Ruby gets here, and I'm not sure who he's here for or what he's here for. And by the first gate right now, open and close it.
I'm having a hard time believing that there hasn't been somebody that needed to be transported by now.
All right. Both of you are currently up to date.
Outstanding.
Did you get the Trello link from Bowman?
No, I found mine. I was able to get into it.
Okay. Eugene, let me get
I'm in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just had to re-verify my shit.
All right. Eugene, didn't I go through the Trello system and how it works via email with you once or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions about it? Do you want me to go a little bit more in depth about how it works?
No, you don't need.
Kind of cooler because this is the mugshot room area.
No?
No, if I got any questions, I can ask.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's it. Now we sit around and wait for transports, really, and just hang out.
I have a hard time believing as many calls as come over, they have not arrested anybody.
Yep. Echo, you can wander. I don't know why he's always so curious about that gate over there. Oop. Okay. Looks like he's using the bathroom.